Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, it's Gal. I'm gonna play a little more Dead Cells today. So last time we were doing exploration. And secret hunting. Today we're going for something relatively simple. The grind. I want to get those levels. Or the cells, the upgrade. So unless something happens and I end up with a really good run, my goal is just going to be to hit the 2-minute marker. And the 8-minute marker to build up 40 cells quick. It's kind of a cheap strategy, but you know what? It gets the job done, and that is the goal. Sure. I figure while we're working on that, have some random discussion, because I've actually been doing a lot of thinking since I did the first couple videos of this, regarding the fact that they call this a Metroidvania. And, you know, I talked about, and it is really cool, the way that they integrate some of those required, like, backtracking by making you go back through multiple runs. But I watched a video recently that really kind of made me stop and think about, you know, what makes a good Metroidvania? And what were the original tenets of a Metroidvania game? And one of the things that got brought up during that video was that a lot of modern Metroidvanias are predictable. There isn't a sense of exploration and wonder when you know what you're getting, or when the items you're getting are basically just keys. And that one of the really cool parts of a lot of early Metroidvania games, a lot of the ones that currently still, you know, go above and beyond, is the fact that the powers you get are versatile. The fact that when you get a cool power, you don't just use it once and then it just goes away. And it's something that comes up in it's something that comes up in a lot of games, and like it's one of the things that I pointed out with, like, Blaster Master. Like, I love that game, but one of the reason that wasn't the genre-defining game is partially because all a couple of the powers do is, like the dive bell and literally the key, is give you access to the next area. They don't actually give you anything new. Well, it's too good to last. I had a combo going there. Accidentally triggered the elite without thinking about it, and that did it. But yeah, like, 3 of the powers in this game are just keys. And when you think about it, that's not very Metroidvania. It's not something that really fits with the ideals of the genre. Really, it's more of a Metroidvania with a few gated, or a roguelike platformer, which it's a very good roguelike platformer, with a few Metroidvania homages. And I guess the other part of that is that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and keep going on Ramparts, since we've got more than enough time, and see if I can just clear out the boss. Boss runs give you a bunch as well, a bunch of cells as well. And I think at this point I'm going to be clearing it in very short order. Considering we're still under 5 minutes. And that kind of got me thinking a little more. One of the points that the video made was that the first Ori game may have been better as a platformer. Because a lot of the early... Basically, the game picks up once you get the movement options, once you get the bash. And that if you just made that a core part of the gameplay instead of... you know, something you earn later. A lot of the early sections are, again, just powers you never use that can be used, or that are basically keys. And as much as I love Ori, the storytelling in Ori is what makes it good, not the... and the gameplay once you get that unlocked. I don't know, just a lot of thoughts about, you know, what makes a good Metroidvania. Because one of the other things is the indie scene has just come out with all of these Metroidvanias in the last, and a lot of my channel has been playing Metroidvanias, especially in the last couple of years, and was kind of thinking about what makes a good Metroidvania. And there's a lot of them out there, and like thinking about something like I think technically Bloodstained is probably the most faithful Metroidvania in a lot of ways. It is a literal, I mean, it is a almost a clone . of Symphony of the Night. Like, the elements from it are blatantly ripped off from Symphony of the Night, and it's, you know, paid off as an homage, but ultimately, like, its Castlevania's elements are blatant. I mean, the guy who made it is literally the guy who made Symphony of the Night, so he's copying himself. But it kind of makes you think about, you know, formulaic writers and people who, you know, are trying to recreate their earlier successes. Like, as brilliant as he is, what if he really just did one thing really well? And, you know, that one thing is brilliant, but does that mean that he gets a free pass on just making the same thing again? Where's the innovation come in? Where are the pieces that make it something special? Like, this is a really fast-paced, good action game. Something like Hollow Knight, you know, has some really, really strong elements that make it something special. Hollow Knight, the setting and the aesthetic, like, it's a package deal, but also, again, one of the things that makes Hollow Knight really cool is all of the powers that you get have multiple uses. You actually, you know, when you go through and play Hollow Knight, your upgrades aren't just keys. You get to use, like, even like even the one that feels the most like the dash powers and stuff are kind of like versatile. There are ways you have to use them where you have to like do it and then interrupt it midstream. The powers in Guacamelee, which I really, really enjoyed, and is kind of creative. Like, there's a lot of pieces in Guacamelee that are really predictable, I guess. Yeah. Oops. Good news is we got a bunch of extra cells because I got a 60 streak again. And we got our 4th health flask, so maybe we can just keep this one going. That was not intentional, but you know what? We'll take it. Apparently I need to wax poetic more often. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to think about with... Actually, I'll even go a step further and say, I think it is really interesting and potentially necessary to think about things. I think it's good to not just take things at face value. And I feel like a lot of times that's something that we do. You know, we play a new game, and we call it something... I mean, even just the Metroidvanias in general, I've been thinking about, you know, where are the lines between something like a Zelda game and a Metroidvania game? Because a lot of modern Zelda games, excluding Breath of the Wild, you get an item, you use it in one dungeon, and then it's gated off. Or it's a key. Like the spinner, like some of the other items, and something like playing Link to the Past randomizer, the fact that that works the same as you know, a Super Metroid randomizer really says a lot about how similar the items in the item pools in those games are. Each item unlocks a couple areas, gives you access to a couple more checks. Crap. I am currently slightly mad at myself. Because I got hit once during that fight. And if I'd gotten that perfect, I could have gotten a achievement. Ooh, electric whip. I'm not sure if that's better than what I've got, but I digress. And I got melee, which is actually one of the blueprints that I really, really like. I want this. I feel like the rapier is more powerful, but the whip is better just for flexibility. You know what? We're gonna keep riding this. I feel like this is good. I got distracted. I got distracted by gameplay. So melee, which I really enjoy, slows enemies that you hit with melee. So I use this generally with my other two slowdown powers to create kind of this back and forth. And we're off to a great start. as I have a brief moment where I stop and consider the fact that the electric whip is way better against those little crowds of small enemies. And go for the treasure chest. Oh, it's a cursed treasure. I don't think we're gonna risk that right now, considering how well we're doing. It seems like that's just tempting fate, especially considering that I've actually gotten a couple, like, good streaks. That was awful. So you know what? I think we're gonna stop trying to do that and just go the normal way. It's probably for the best anyway. That burst there is that punishment shield, which does an area of effect burst when you get a successful parry. Looking for the last scrolls here. I mean, I could go fire grenade just to get some extra damage, but I feel like the lockdown we're getting out of this is really good. Being able to control movement is really nice. Okay, clock tower. shield. They are really wanting me to take this whip. And actually, this one's better. So. Okay, you got me. So, I don't think I've got... I can't remember if the whip counts as a melee weapon or not. I guess maybe it does. Okay, we'll give it a shot. And let's double check here. But we can plus this again, too. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure what generate a shield means, except for the obvious, so we'll go with it. So back to my random philosophical discussion, because I feel like I was playing really well when that was going on. One of the other games that really kind of struck me regarding that was Monster Boy. Because Monster Boy, in a lot of ways, has the trappings of Metroidvania, but I commented throughout it that it plays more like an old platformer in a lot of ways. It's got that, it doesn't have that fluidity and that flexibility you think of. Now, on the other hand, it doesn't have the modern platformer aspects to it, but it is actually maybe better at some other things. Like, each of the animals, you actually do get some flexibility, and I do think that if you had, like, a little bit better account of it, like with the frog, I mentioned during that run, if the frog had more, flexibility. Like if you could use its tongue more often. I see the pan there and I kind of want it. First try, tower. Let's see if we get the other ones. There's a scroll of power over here. Clock tower goes a lot faster when you don't have to, Is that first try again? Clock tower goes a lot faster when you don't have to do the bells. That was perfect, actually. This feels good. This run's feeling good. I mean, we can just finish this off. This doesn't change anything. Did I have something I was in the middle of? Yeah, ice shards. Ice shards are really fun. I think we're still good there. We're still good there. We don't need that because we're at full health. Okay. Let's see if we can do Timekeeper quickly. Okay. I was able to be extremely aggressive there. The number on that electric whip seems almost too high. I'm okay with that. Let's pour these in since we've got them. Nice crossbow. Quick refill. I think the big takeaway for what I need to do for this Hand of the King is just going to be make sure that I give myself time to heal. Because that's been my downfall the last couple times. Let's do that. Feel like we're good there. Probably should have rolled through that door, but oh well. This is going to be the easiest door. Because the boss is standing in water. I mean, it's blood, but it treats it like water. And so we can electrify them and just be done. Keep boosting that physical attack. Enemies that you hit freeze. Get gold as well, so... yeah. Enemies you hit freeze. This is ridiculous. Okay. This is like my dream come true and ridiculous. I think we're gonna do that. Just because at this point that's a huge health boost and it boosts the power on all of our side stuff. Granted, most of those are for utility, not for power. Okay, let's do this. $40 cells left. I think we're gonna push this to 1, like I've done before, and then start on a... After killing an enemy... Okay. So I think we're gonna do Heart of Ice. So as long as enemies are frozen or slowed, we are going to, or immobilized, which we have like 10 ways to do. It reduces cooldowns. I think we're gonna do Crow's Feet for an additional slow effect and damage. HP depending on, or as speed buff. You know what? It's a classic for a reason. I think I'm gonna switch over to my standard. Don't need the healing potion. Let's do this. Under 22 or 22-minute run with really good scrolls. 1845. It's an amazing setup. Second phase. Bad throw. There we go. Played a lot more defensively that time than I have in the last few. We unlock the symmetrical lance. We have a super pixelated cutscene where the king is killed. See this weird reaction between them, which is really neat. And we roll the credits. I'm actually going to go ahead and skip the credits this time, just because I don't want to, just because of the time it takes. Okay, so there seems to have been an explosion, and we get our little dude that we saw at the beginning. Little back room here, and then we pop back into the water. And back to prisoners' quarters, which again is really cool. So, there was a successful run, finally. I'm glad that I continued. I was considering just restarting. Where the hell has Old Bones gone? So there was a skeleton of a giant over here, which is no longer there, is what he's referencing. So here, we can raise the difficulty. We get this here. We also get the ability to discharge our head. Seems like he might have been in a bit of a rush. He's gone into the lava because he didn't want to come back at all. I'm definitely not going after him. Okay, we're gonna go spend these real quick. This one we are, regardless of how well things are going to reset out of. So yeah, I've been doing kind of side runs on a separate save file, and it feels like once you've gotten the pattern down, you can get a few kills off, and it's not super hard. The increased difficulties are substantially harder than the regular. Or than the file on normal. Like, the difficulty increase is very, very high. This is an obnoxiously good run, too. But I'm not going all the way to the end again. We can just save, so I may wait until after I finish this and just save. There's Promenade. The main reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to accidentally lose those 40 cells exiting out. Which, plus the stuff in the level. So we may just pick right back up here next time. But yeah, no, like I was saying, I've been doing side runs with on a separate save file to practice, to figure out how I'm going to route everything. And it's been interesting trying to kind of gauge where I'm at on a lot of this. Okay, so we're gonna wrap here. We'll pick back up next time, right where we're leaving off, because this is an amazing start. We're probably not going to do a ton more dead cells, but it'll kind of work like Hades, where I'll just do an occasional run at this point. I'm kind of addicted to it right now, and it's a fun, easy thing to stream. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully you're enjoying. If you are, give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.